to overturn the 2020 election. I'm Sandra Smith in for Harris Faulkner, and this is the Faulkner Focus. It is a big news day. The Supreme Court has thrown the case back to a federal judge to decide if Trump's felony January 6 charges meet the criteria for prosecution. A Trump campaign senior advisor with this just moments ago.
They basically have said, sorry, Jack Smith, you don't get to just impede and intrude on the executive branch. We get to have protections for presidents who are doing things while they are in office so that they don't come out and get targeted and criminally and civilly sued. It's incredibly important. It was a good decision. Obviously, I believe absolute immunity should exist for the executive branch, but they did recognize it.
Okay, so here we go. Chief Legal Correspondent Shannon Bream is all over this. She's live at the Supreme Court with continued reaction to this. Shannon.
So, Sandra, the bottom line is a win for the Trump campaign today in that this is kicked back to the lower courts. It buys more time. It makes it less likely this case actually gets to trial by Election Day. But there's still a lot of work to be done on this case. 6-3, the justices decided today that there is immunity, criminal immunity for core functions of the presidency, for official acts of the presidency, but not for unofficial acts. And what they did was say to this court, this case was so expeditiously rushed along, pressed along. We can't answer these questions. So, yes, it's got to go back down to the lower court. I want to read a little bit from the majority opinion by the Chief Justice. He says, the president may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers, and he is entitled at a minimum to a presumptive immunity from prosecution for all his official acts. That immunity applies equally to all occupants of the Oval Office, regardless of politics, party, or policy. So they're saying this is, it applies in this case, but this is going to be for every president moving forward. Justice Jackson, dissenting, said something I heard her say during arguments, too. She's worried about the real world impact of this, saying to the extent that the majority's new accountability paradigm allows presidents to evade punishment for their criminal acts while in office, the seeds of absolute power for presidents have been planted. And without a doubt, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So a win today for the former president. How this officially plays out will take a lot of time, and we'll see whether he's ultimately successful on the merits below. Sandra?
All right, Shannon, thank you very much. Live at the Supreme Court for us, Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor, George Washington University law professor and constitutional law attorney, and Andrew Cherkasky, former federal prosecutor. Welcome to you both. Jonathan, I'll get your top-line thoughts here. As this news breaks, I want to read you directly from Justice Sotomayor's, from her decision, her dissent, along with Jackson and Kagan in this case, that if a president, quote, orders the Navy's SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival, immune. Organizes a military coup to hold on to power, immune. Takes a bribe in exchange for a pardon, immune, 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 immune. Were her words in her dissent. Your reaction at this hour?
Well, I think the problem